and welcome to Sunday night, you know, our Sunday night hangout. This is the late night live that we do. Late night live? Yeah, that's it. So, how's everybody today? As we know, today is the High Holy Day. It is Star Wars Day, hence Darth Vader on the shirt. Um, Hopefully, we get some more people in here. Right now, we're a little lean on people, but I know more of you guys are going to show up. So, I've got 2 thumbs up. That's pretty cool. I've got 2 people here. So, starting off slow. 3. All right, numbers are going up. So, how's everybody tonight? Everybody doing okay on this, the High Holy Day? May the 4th. May the 4th be with you. If you know, you know. So, how's everybody's weekend? Everybody wrapping up? I know I saw you guys yesterday, just last night, and technically early this morning, but I'm glad you're all here. And, you know, it was an interesting day for me. Went and sold off 2 more guitars out of my collection. Hello there. I wish I knew what your name was in English. I really don't. I'm sorry. Hey, Tom. Welcome into chat. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. I usually have an anxiety whenever I have to sell guitars, but this time I didn't. I sold 2 of my Paul Reed Smiths and felt really good about it. Just at this point, too many guitars and not enough time to play them all, so let somebody else enjoy them. Hey, Rolf. Hey, Rolf, you guys had a really fun live stream today. And I know you were just busting my chops through that, but it was fun. Like I said, I really had a lot of fun. It was really cool winning. What's really funny is that the knife I won, I already kind of have, but in a different version of it. So that actually really made me happy because I love that knife. And that's what we're going to be talking about tonight. I have a case here of knives. And since we did the reveal of all the new knives that came into the channel last night, I'm actually going to talk about some of my favorite knives. I have as you guys know, I have a lot of knives, but I put my top 32 knives in this case. And they're not necessarily my best knives, but they're the ones I enjoy the most. Yeah, it was a great time. It was absolutely a great time. It was really cool to see BEDC there with you. I forgot he's local to you guys, or, almost local. So that was kind of cool seeing Brian there. He's a good dude. I like Brian a lot. I bought my Kaiser Cormorant off of Brian. So, but yeah, I like Brian a lot. So that was kind of cool. And like I said, yes, last night, and like I told Bobby before, I'm really happy. 7 miles. Wow. I didn't realize that. I'm really happy for Barbie's growth because that happened really quick. And like I said, I'm really happy for you guys. Now, I wish I was down there so I could have hung out, but we'll have to do it on the lives. That's all. But so today was, like I said, an interesting day. I sold some guitars. It's Star Wars Day. Hey, Neil, what is up, buddy? We just did this last night. So I decided I'm just going to go over some of my favorite knives tonight. Again, these aren't necessarily my best or most expensive knives, but these are the ones I like carrying the most. And this doesn't include any of the newer knives that I've gotten recently, except for one. Because one I like so much, I threw it right into the mix of my favorite knives. So let's kind of hold this up to the camera so you can kind of see how big this case is and what we're looking at. So I love these cases. They hold 16 knives per side, 32 total. And what I like is the way they hold them in there, you can actually see there's no like deep pockets where you can't see what you have in there. And they've got this little, sleeve on the front. Right now I just have a blank piece of paper, cardboard in there. But what I usually do on all the cases, I take all the channel stickers I get and I'll cut out a cardboard piece that fits a little bit better than this in here, and I'll put all the channel stickers on it, which is cool because that way I'm always looking at all your guys' stickers and whatnot. And then on a couple of them I have different brand stickers, But so I love these cases. And I don't know the name of these cases. They're on Amazon and they're like only like 15 bucks. They're really cheap. And the zippers work well. They're not YKK zippers or anything, but the zippers work well. And these are tough little bags that hold everything. And then what they do is when you fold it over like the clamshell, it's got this divider in there. I'm doing great, Barbie. And like I was just telling Rolf, I'm glad you're here. I am so happy for you with making your sub number 1,000. And today's live was awesome, really awesome. So I had a good time. Brown Fog. I don't know if Brown Fog's actually here or he just shows up first to leave a thumbs up and say hello. So, but I hope Brown Fog's here. I hope he's enjoying this. But so let's start going over some of my favorite knives in this case. And this is not going to be in any order. It's just how I'm going to pull them out. So we'll start with, let's start over. I know it's here somewhere. There it is. In Barbie's live today, I won one of the giveaways, and I won a North Mountain 2 chop with the Ultim handles. Well, I have the North Mountain Blades chop in the black G10. And this is going to sound like a whiny statement on my part. I had this knife literally before anybody else had it on YouTube. I just never did a video on it. Hey, Robert. Hey, Brown Sugar. This is one of my favorite knives. And like I said, I never did a video on it because by the time I decided I wanted to do knife videos, everybody was literally putting out a video on this. And I was like, at that point, why am I going to? Everybody's got one. Even though I swear, I had this for about 6 months before I saw the first video on it. And in fact, I got it when it still included the hard shell case. They don't do that anymore. Now they come with a soft-sided pouch. And I love this knife. Titanium Justin. Hey, I'm sorry I couldn't hook up with you this afternoon. I was kind of running around all day and then in Barbie's live stream and, but like I said, I had this knife literally before anybody else did. But I never, like I said, never did a video on it because I wasn't doing knife content at that point. But I love this knife. I mean, this is such a perfect knife. I love the blade shape. I love the blade steel. I love the handle. I love the fidgetiness. So I'm really looking forward to the one I won from Barbie with the Ultim handles. That's going to be a lot of fun. So that is one of my favorite knives. One of my next favorite knives, and this is my Benchmade Griptilian. This is the mini grip, I should say. Love this knife. Great handle shape. And even though it's the mini, I still get 4 fingers on there. Perfect jimping here with a ramp up for your thumb. This is just, to me, their best knife. I really want to get the large Griptilian, the regular Griptilian as opposed to the mini. But this is by far one of my favorite knives. And I will stand by this Benchmade over any other. Even though I have, in the same case, one of my bug outs. So that's there. Another one of my favorites. Again, tonight we're just going to go over some of my favorite knives that I have in the collection. So this one is a knife that is a Bench Techman. This is the Dundee. But this was the one in MagnaCut. This is the Knife Center exclusive in MagnaCut. This is one of the first long form videos I did that got a lot of attention. And in fact, it got so much attention that Bench Techman loved it and they decided they were going to be the first knife company to work with me as far as collaborating. So this one means a lot for that reason, but I just love the knife. I love the shape of it. I love the feel of it. And I love the fact that it's MagnaCut. MagnaCut is my favorite steel by far. And just great action on it. Just a great knife. And the fact that it comes in at a sub $100 price point for MagnaCut on a full-size blade you know. So next up in the lineup, and you guys could talk along. You guys don't have to be quiet and just watch and hear me babble, because I will babble. We all know this. This one is another special series. This is the Kaiser original in the Serape, from the Serape series, and kind of seems appropriate for Cinco de Mayo tomorrow. But this is just a great knife. Thumb deployment. It it looks small, but it feels great. Yeah, this is, and I believe this is a Nitro V on this. No, 154 cm is the blade steel on this. Button lock, ultra fidgety. When you order this, and you can still get them, they're still out there, even though the series is not making anymore, you can still get these. This comes with an EDC pouch, and the EDC pouch is the same colorway as this. It also comes with a matching bead for your lanyard. So really, it's a great look. I love this. And this was the very first YouTube short I did was on this. That got a lot of attention. And that's when I started to realize that YouTube shorts were very viable for getting views. So there's that one. Well, I only have one teal knife in this box, but we'll get to that. Next up is going to be another knife that I really love. Look at the handles on that. This is the O-Knife Roboto. Look at that Tanto blade. It's another 154 cm steel. Bar lock, access lock, whatever you want to call it. Super fidgety. And the action on that's great. I love it. And again, another full 4-finger knife. 210 stacks. Hello there. Welcome in. So, what do you think of that? I think it's really an attractive knife. I know some people don't like the big O knife symbol there. I don't mind it. I think actually I like their logo a lot. So, kind of reminds me of a hockey logo, the Detroit Red Wings more specifically. Yeah, absolutely. So the next one, and what I've noticed is I have a lot of Kaisers in my favorites. So the next one is a special edition that was a Smoky Knife Works exclusive. And this was from their Fallout series. This was the Vault series, and this is the Veritas. And this is just a fantastic knife. Look at that. You can deploy it with the thumb holes. It's a liner lock, or you could use the front flipper. And the front flipper works really well on this. I know not everybody's a fan of front flippers, but I happen to like this one a lot. And I just love, because I'm a huge fan of the whole Fallout series. So with that being said, check that out. If you like Fallout, the video games, or if you like the TV show, this is the knife for you. What's that white piece of lint on there, huh? So we'll move into the next one. Yeah, it is a crazy color combo. Looks just like the Vault jumpsuits. And this is one that I've shown a lot. This is one that my wife got me for Christmas. And this is the Kershaw Mini Iridium. I love this one. It's got those bronze highlights with the light blue. And just a fantastic knife. Look at that. The Iridium series is amazing. And I like this one a lot. I love the blue aluminum handles. And like I said, those bronze accents really make it pop right there. And I love this knife. It's really got some great action on it. Very fidgety because of the bar lock, and means a lot to my wife. Got me this one, which gives it a little bit more value in my eyes. Now the next one is a CJRB, and this is the Pyrite. This is the Pyrite Alt, I believe, with the steel steel scales. I am a sucker. I think you guys know this by now. I'm a sucker for all titanium, steel, metal finishes. And I just love that. And this is just a great knife. I mean, great choke up point right there. Great jimping on top. Full 4 finger grip. Really, if I had a fifth finger, I could fit that on there when you do the choke up. Button lock. Super fidgety. You know, just a great knife. And I mean, the price point on these is like, I don't know, like, I think these are like $45 or so. I don't remember off the top of my head. Hey, Ron. Good to see you, buddy. And yeah, it is ultra smooth. Now, the next one is designed by a friend who we all know. And this is the Concept Goblin, or this is the Mini Goblin. And this is designed by our friend Marshall of Legion Steel fame. And this has a little front flipper that it's a little small for me to deploy. So, with that being said, I have to use the thumb opener on this. But I find this one a little bit difficult. So, and that's because my thumb is really big to get in that hole, because this is a small knife. And for some reason, she does not want to deploy properly, but that's just me. But look at that. Marshall designed this to look like the cockpit of a fighter plane, and it clearly does. It looks like the window. It's not a big knife. This is only a little 3-finger knife, but it's just a great design. And it's a frame lock. And this is I believe the steel on this is, yeah, S35 VN. So it's a really steel, just a great knife. I love the design of this. I want to get the XL version. I haven't gotten it yet. I keep saying I'm going to get it, and I should, because it's not available anymore. It's discontinued, so. Wow. There we go. Yeah, I have trouble with this one as far as deploying it. And that's because, again, my thumb's really big for that little hole. So, but it's a great design. It's just me. I'm the problem. So, like I said, the next one I only got last week, but it's instantly become one of my favorites. And that is the Ray Laconico designed Kaiser Gemini. You guys saw this when I showed this off just the other day, but love that. There's something about a Laconico design that is so clean, so smooth looking, so sleek. Absolutely love this knife. It's got that carbon fiber over G10. The blade is just awesome. And liner lock, but drop shutty, flipper tab only. The only thing I might have wanted on this were thumb studs, but I'm a flipper tab guy, so it's okay. But yeah, I mean, all the Laconico designs are really good. I have the new one that he has coming out, the Revel, even though the high-end Revel was already out, but he has the new one coming out with which is the budget-minded version that he's doing with Artisan Cutlery, and that comes out. It was pre-order, and it ships on the 30th. I had to jump on that one. So the next one is a classic knife that everybody should own. And no, it's not a penguin. I don't have a penguin in this case because the penguin just missed the cut. And only because I have the basic penguin. I think if I had the top liner lock, it would make this cut. But that is this one, the Ontario Rat 2. And this one has the upgraded fat carbon scales that I got from Way of the Knife. So I customized this one. And look at that. I mean, the Rat 2 and the Rat, just classic knives. I mean, classic blade shape, great jimping, great place to, ramp up for your thumb. 4-finger grip, and this is, mind you, the smaller one. And the Rat 1's the larger one, and they have the in-between size. My penguin got cut. You know, although that mini penguin that I showed off last night, the premium mini penguin, that might make it in here. I don't know. Or that might make it into case number 2 of my favorites. So moving right along. I've only had this one a few weeks, but this one moved into the lineup, is the Demko AD 2050, or 20.5, I should say. And man, I love that. I love the blade shape. I love the handle. And of course, I love the shark lock. Shark lock works so well. And the fact that you can deploy this with the thumb studs, with the thumb hole. And no, it's actually bright orange. It's a safety orange, but with the lighting in here, it makes it look red. But if you look close, that's a safety orange. I do want to change out the scales on this. I want to get a set of titanium scales. So that might be the way I go with this. But yeah, but just love this one. I mean, the action is amazing. And I just love that blade shape. And the jimping is, what I love is the jimping goes from all the way back here, all the way up to right about here. And you can really get a grip. And that's like real grippy jimping. You know, we all know we have some knives that have jimping, that the jimping is more decorative because it doesn't actually grip. But there we go. Now the next knife is going to be another Kaiser. And it's one of my favorites, even though it is only a front flipper tab knife. So, and that is the Kaiser Aggressor. And this one has the Richlight, the red Richlight scales, which there's something about the Richlight, man. It just feels different. It's got a warmth to it that I really love. And look at that. Front flipper deployment. Super sleek. Almost like a Laconico kind of design, even though it's not his design. But man, yeah, I'm sorry, this is not the Aggressor. This is the Kaiser Assassin. I said the Aggressor. This is the Assassin. Sorry, I got my A words mixed up. So, but yeah, just a great knife. And what I love is this textured area here, like this milled out, gives you a nice place. Like you could put your thumb right there and lock it in, you know? And just awesome knife. I wasn't sure when I got this one how much I was going to like it. I love the look of it, but I wasn't sure about, because that front flipper tab is, where is it? If you guys can see, it's ultra small. That's it. That's all you got. Just that little bit right there. And, but man, it flips out with no problem. I think Kaiser, man, does such a great job. They have quickly become one of my favorite companies, exhibited by the fact that I think I have more of their knives than any other company. And I don't usually go by brand name. I usually just go by, if I see something I like, I get it. Doesn't matter the brand. Just so happens that I have a lot of Kaisers. The next one is one that I customized as well. And this is a knife that you won't find in this color. And that is the Civivi Mini Praxis. I took off the original olive scales and replaced them with these red scales that I got off of Etsy. And I just love this. The Mini Praxis is just an amazing knife. You know, another one has this nice little ramp up, aggressive jimping. And look at that. That color on there is just fantastic with the black colorway. Now I know I just recently won another one of these from Tactical Llama. He hasn't, I don't think he shipped it out yet, but I know it's on its way. So that one I'll probably leave original, because that one's got the olive scales. But man, by the way, I just almost missed the flipper tab there, and it popped out because the action is so great on this. It almost pops out like a spring assisted, but it's not. So I absolutely love this. To me, this is one of the best value knives you can get at a $29 price point. And I mean, you've even got a place to choke up if you want right there. You know, but you can get a full four fingers on there. Adventure Man, welcome. Adventure Man, the man who confuses me in the giveaways, because when I see the wheel and all of a sudden I see Adventure and it doesn't say 50, it says man, I get disappointed. But I get happy for Adventure Man. You know, that's happened, I think. I know, yeah, it definitely happened with G Ball one night. So the next one is a QSP. And this is the QSP Offspray. And this one has the black and red shredded carbon scales. And this is a thumb flipper. And look at that. Straight back, which I like straight back knives a lot. Nice jimping up here. Clip is reversible. It's a wire clip, which to me, wire clips are so awesome. They go in and out of the pocket. They don't tear up your pocket. They hold. This is another 4-finger knife that is just a banger, man. And these come in at like, I think like $46 in that range with that, red and black shredded carbon. I think these just look stunning. You guys are really quiet in the chat tonight. You're just kind of sitting back, listening to me, and that's cool. I'm okay with that. And don't forget, by the end of this, we will get to the Church of Fun, where we will have another reading from the book of creative cursing. This is the QSP Offspray. QSP makes some really great knives, and they make some great budget knives. And it's got the G10 spacer back spacer here with the lanyard, so just a solid knife. I don't know. I think QSP at a budget price point does a great job. I haven't moved into any of their higher price knives because basically all their mid to lower price knives are bangers. Next one I'm going to show you is an overpriced knife, but that I happen to love. And this is a concept in an 80s camo carbon. And I was disappointed when I got this one because it wasn't as vibrant as far as the colors go, except for the hardware. But this is the Mini Main Street titanium clip S35, what is it? Yeah, S35 VN blade steel. Love that blade shape. Dawn and Chris L, hello there. So this is a little guy, little 3-finger knife, 5th pocket carry. Yes, the Ramones had a great song called "The Job That Ate My Brain." I've experienced that. But again, nice knife, but the price point on these is way too much. I paid way too much for it. And I probably should have got this without, just in like a black G10 instead of the higher end version. But I went for this one. And to my dismay, this was smaller than I thought it was going to be. Because sometimes if you don't see it in hand, you're going off on, you're online. Now I will say the action's really good on this. You've got the bar lock, super flicky, but just too much for what it is. With that said, I still love it. And what I want to get is the matching full-size Main Street. But it's discontinued and they've gone up considerably in price. So what I just may do is just get the black G10 version and then go with the green hardware to kind of make it match, Wow, we're at a half hour already? This is moving by pretty quick. Half hour and we've got basically halfway through the case. By the way, what I carried today was that Tactical Gears knife that I showed off last night, which I actually put back in the box because I have to do a video on that. But I carried that, and that was a nice carry. I like that one a lot. All right, so let's move on. what do we have here? Is this what I think it is? Yes. This is another Vosti. This is a Vosti raccoon. And this one has been slightly upgraded by me. I added the blue thumb studs to it, changed out the originals, but anybody knows the Vosti raccoon is just an amazing knife. I have it with the crossbar lock. I would have preferred it with the top liner lock, but those were not available when I ordered this. And I just think that little blue thumb stud on there with the blue lanyard just makes this really pop. Just a great knife. You know, I think everybody should have, you know how Bees always says everybody needs a penguin? Everybody needs a raccoon. This is just a fantastic knife. And the action on it's amazing. The bar lock is amazing. You know, you can fidget with this all day long. And just, it never fails to deploy. Sounds good. Feels good in the hand. You know, absolutely love this one. So next up, we will move on to my beloved Benchmade bug out. This was in the orange rust edition with the kind of beige cerakoted blade. With that orange thumb stud. I am considering, I was talking to Brad at Burkle Cerakote. I have a set of titanium scales for this, but I love the colorway so much. I talked to him tonight about possibly sending him the knife so he could Cerakote the titanium the same color as this, because I love the colorway. I just don't love the grivery handles. You know, I would rather have a titanium. Although, you know, my other bug out, I could squeeze these together without any resistance. These are pretty sturdy. But for all those people who hate Benchmade and their pricing, I actually got this on a really good sale. Because again, I think this one's discontinued now. And I literally got this and saved like $60 on it because it was on a clearance. But absolutely love that. And, you know, it's a bug out. What are you going to say about it? Bug out's a great knife. You know, people will bitch, they don't like the scales. They'll complain about the price, whatever. But at the end of the day, it's a great knife. I don't care what anybody says. And that's why it's become so popular. Next up is probably my very favorite knife. And that is my Spyderco Manix 2 Lightweight. And there you go. This is the teal knife that I own. Actually, it's one of two teal knives, but only one in this case. So Barbie, if you're looking, there you go. There's your teal. And man, the action on that's amazing. The bar lock on it is not the same as a regular bar lock. It doesn't have Omega springs. This has a spring that runs from here back. So when you push it, you can easily deploy it, but it's a lot sturdier. And man, even though, like I said yesterday, the spider hole is my least favorite deployment method, on this one, man, it just works. It just works. Every time. Never fails. And let's face it, this is probably one of the most comfortable knives you're going to get because it's the lightweight and you've got that textured pattern, which is really grippy. You've got the choil here for choking up, and you've got that beautiful ramp up right there. Just, I have to thank Bees for this because when I was looking at choosing between the Manix, the Para 2, the Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3, and some others, Bees was like, go with the Manix 2, you'll never regret it. And he was right. It's become my favorite knife, by far. So, with that being said, we'll put that away and we'll move on to the next. And this is another Kaiser, go figure. And this is the Kaiser Cobalt 2. one of the most underrated knives they've ever made. Look at that monster. This has, what's the blade steel on this? 4V steel. Look at that blade. Just to quote Bees, would you look at it? Just look at it. But look at that thing. Look at the size of the grip on that. You have the choke up spot right there. You have very little jimping back here. My only little knock is not enough jimping. The jimping is strictly back here, where sometimes I want to choke up here. I'd love to have jimping, but man. Hey, Jacob. Yeah, this is just an amazing knife. And the fact that this will get slept on and it's such great steel. I mean, everything about this, there's nothing not to love. I love this knife. And it's probably my favorite Kaiser. Well, that's hard to say because I have a lot of Kaisers, but it's the Cobalt 2. You can get these now because they're discontinued, and you can usually pick them up at a pretty fair price. So next up on my list is a knife that I'm very fond of, and that is the Civivi Vision. Just a great knife. It has kind of a shark lock. They call it the Dream Lock, but super knife. Great blade shape. Actually kind of similar to what the Cobalt has as far as the blade shape goes. And you've got those ridiculous speed holes. I'm eventually going to replace these because I can't stand the speed holes. Sorry. Or what I might do is I saw somebody take like colored plastic and put it in there. And they had like red. So it's made it solid with red. And that kind of looked cool. I might do something like that. I don't know. But look at that thing. And then, of course, you've got the Dream Lock, which I got to tell you, I'm not sure which feels better, the Shark Lock or the Dream Lock. They both work really well. And again, this is another knife where you've got that great choil there. You could choke up, but either way, it's a nice full-size knife. So again, that's the Civivi Vision FG. Next one we're going to come up to is a Kershaw. And this is one that could be a little divisive. The Kershaw Leak. And why I say it could be divisive? Because it's a spring-assisted knife. I happen to like it a lot. It's a Ken Onion design, and I love everything Ken Onion designs. But, by the way, I've had this knife a really long time, and it was only last week that I realized that there's a lock on this. So that way you can lock it and keep it to prevent it from springing out in your pocket. So you push that down, you move this little bar up, and now you can't deploy it accidentally. How I never knew that before, I can't tell you because I've used this knife ad nauseum. But you move that down, and then boom, it'll deploy. So love the Leak. 4-figure grip, you know, and that is a pokey, stabby MFer. But just a great design by Ken Onion. I'm actually waiting for the Krabby, which is Ken Onion Jr.'s design, his son. That's going to be coming out in June. And I've actually become friends with his son through Facebook. And we've talked about, because they Blade Show Texas, they had the knife there, the prototypes. And he wasn't sure at that point when it was coming out. But they waited now till Blade Show Atlanta, so it's going to hit in June. And I'm going to be getting one of those. Not from Civivi, but from Ken himself. So, by chance, the next one in here is also a Kershaw. And this might be one of my top 3 knives as well. And this is the Kershaw Bel Air. Look at those scales, aluminum, whitewashed. Whoops, what did I do there? Magna Cut. Again, my favorite of the blade steels. Just a fantastic knife. At around a little bit less money than the Benchmade Bug Out, but I think this is better than the Bug Out. you know, it's going to be heavier usage because of the aluminum scales. You don't have to worry about breaking them because of the groovery. Crossbar lock, access lock, whatever you want to call it. Super, super drop shutty. Action on it's great and just really feels really great in the hand. So this is what I think is one of the best alternatives to the bug out. If you're not a bug out fan, you don't want to spend that money, but check it out. That is the Kershaw Bel Air. Now the next one is a Kubi. And this is the Kubi Nova. The Kubi Nova. Just love that modern look with the titanium clip with the blue anodized hardware, and beautiful action on that. Love the blade shape. Has some nice jimping right up here. Small jimping. No, it doesn't go very far, but you can get a nice grip on that. Full grip on that. Mind a Milton. What's up? And just fantastic knife. Frame lock. And easy to one-hand operate. Fantastic action on that. You could probably flip it using these indents here. I've never tried it. So let's see if we can. I can't. Maybe you can. I can't. But just a really nice knife. Again, one of my favorites. And the blade steel on this, let's see, because I don't remember the blade steel. I know it's on here somewhere. Okay. The blade steel is in the dark. Pardon me while I take a flashlight out and look at what the blade steel is, because it's really small in there and I'm really half blind. So, blade steel. Is it on there? It's got to be on there. Oh, there it is. Okay, 14C28. So it's not a premium steel, but it's a good steel. 14C28. For some reason, I thought this was a 154, but it's not. 14C28. But just such an attractive knife. Really, really attractive knife. So there. I did promise we would talk about Star Wars because it is the High Holy Star Wars Day. So to everybody here, I give you a lightsaber salute. There we go. That's your lightsaber salute for tonight. So, can't wait to become monetized where I can wave that around like a nut for when people, do super chats and all that other good stuff. But we're getting there. We're getting there. Next one is another Vastid. One of my favorite smaller knives, the Vastid Martin. That is just an amazing looking knife. This looks like such an expensive knife, especially with that milling on the handles, on the aluminum handles. Great blade shape. Not a giant knife, just comes in slightly under 3 inches, but you can get a 4-finger grip there. Great choke up point. Really aggressive jimping on top. And it is a top button liner lock. So it's not a plunge lock. It's top button liner lock. So way more secure than a plunge lock. And just amazing action on that. You've got that titanium. Actually, this did not come with the titanium clip. Sorry, folks. It came with a standard, steel clip. But I thought the titanium clip would look really great on here. So that's actually a Civivi titanium clip that you can buy. And I just thought that worked out so much nicer on there. Really completed the look of this knife. Again, that's the Vastid Martin. One of my favorites. Now comes another knife from O Knife. And this is one of their newest offerings. This is the one that was on Kickstarter. Another Ken Onion design, by the way. And this is the Zen OAL. So it's got that proprietary OAL aluminum. This is an aluminum frame lock. And man, is that nice. Look at the shape of that blade. And you've got that 4-finger grip right there. Great jimping. Right there. I love the jimping on this. And it's a frame lock. And this is an aluminum frame lock. They claim it's the first fully aluminum frame lock because there's no steel liner in there. And that's because it's the OAL aluminum, which is supposed to be like 10 times tougher than regular aluminum. And it's just as tough as steel. I will say one thing. This is really tough. I will do something that I would not normally do. See that? No scratching at all. Nothing coming off in that anodized finish. And this blade is super sharp. So this is a tough finish. This is the same one they use on their Arcfield Ultra flashlight. So super, super, yeah, super, super tough. Love the design on this. Again, Ken Onion design. And I just love the stuff he does. And I love the red accent around the pivot. The only thing I don't love on here is the clip. I thought a titanium clip of some sort would look better on here. And I know not everybody loves, again, that billboarding that they do. So I may look to put a titanium clip on here of some sort, like a black titanium, you know. But I love this one. So let's move on to the next. And the next is another QSP. And this is the QSP Hawk. And this has your aluminum foil carbon scales. This was, I believe this was a traditional pocket knives exclusive, but I'm not sure. I know that's where I got it. And look at that. Has that great QSP action, that great look to it. You know, deep carry clip. Clip is not reversible, but it really doesn't matter on this. Beautiful 4-finger grip and great jimping on top. Liner lock that just works so stupidly well. And I love this one. You can deploy it with the thumb studs or the flipper. So it gives you some options and just feels great. One of my favorite knives. So moving along to the next. If you have any questions about them, let me know. If everybody's fallen asleep by now, let me know, because you guys are not very active in the chat tonight at all. Last night you guys were a bunch of chatty people. Maybe you're all chatted out from being in all the lives today, because there were a lot of them. So next on the agenda is my Concept Stella, or Stellar, not Stella, Stellar. Titanium S35V, titanium milled clip, frame lock, flipper tab, and look at that sheep's foot, kind of modified sheep's foot. Really great in the hand, but it's a small knife. This is a 3-finger only knife. Even though the blade is decent size, but the handle is kind of on the short side. But just looks amazing. The action's amazing. And like I said, S35VN on this. It's a Matt Degnan design. So I don't know. I really like. Again, like I said, I'm a sucker for that titanium, you know, with a stone washed. I have several knives like that. But, and this is a pricey bugger. This one, I think it was coming in at like $150 or so, or $180 actually. I didn't pay that. They were running it. They had Marine X had pointed out that these were on sale for like $79 at some point, and I jumped on it, had to get it, bought it, and then literally like 2 days later, it went back up to the price that it should have been. So I think Amazon made a mistake, and I was willing to take advantage of it. Thank you, Marine X. Next one is another Kaiser, and this is the Kaiser Feeweed. Feedweed is one of my favorite Kaiser knives with that purple haze camel carbon, the purple haze fat carbon inlays, titanium, S35VN steel. You can front flipper it. You can use the thumb studs. I use the front flipper on that. And you've got these interesting triangular thumb studs. Just a gorgeous knife. Titanium milled clip and harpoon blade on that, which I love a harpoon blade. You can get your thumb right in there. It's really nice jimping. This is just I think one of Kaiser's best knives. That's come out. This came out last year. I know it was overshadowed by the Militar, but I think this will give the Militar a run for its money if they only made this in a larger size. So, no, I haven't, Ron. Did those just come out? Like, a special edition for today? Because I didn't see those at all. Speaking of Militars, we have one right here. This is one that I modified. This originally had the olive inlay, so I bought two. And because I thought the party streamer looked terrible on the olive, so what I did was I put you guys know already, I've told you this a million times, but I took these off of the one with the olive inlay, put them on the black, and they just look so much better. Now, what I decided, and I actually just decided this tonight, is I'm going to swap the blade out on this. I'm going to put the black PVD coated blade on here. So, both part of the May drop. I have to take a look. I didn't see that. But so yeah, I'm gonna swap this out. So next week when I'll show you what this is gonna look like, is it's gonna have the black PVD blade on this, and then this is gonna go on the olive handled Militar. I decided I needed to do that because I want this all blacked out with the party streamers. I think it's just gonna look so cool. And this is the budget. By the way, this is the budget Militar. This is the one with Nitro V. The $55, $60 one. But man, the action on this is amazing. And the look on it, I love the party streamers. In lieu of camel carbon, I really love that. So we're down to the last two, in this case, of my top 32 knives, or my favorite 32. Not to say that the others aren't favorites, because this one, the beef, is quickly growing on me. So this would definitely get an honorable mention at this point, and this may move up and bump something else out. I don't know what yet, but love this one. I know I talk about this a lot because I love this knife. The other thing you're not going to find in here is because I keep those separate, which are all my Ben Peterson designs. They all have their own case because I had so many Ben Peterson knives. So all of those could be swapped into this interchangeably because I love every Ben Peterson knife that's ever come out. So those actually have their own case. It's the Ben Peterson collection. So let's pull out the next one. The next one is the CJRB Pyrite Light. And I just love this. This is just a super, super fun, fidgety knife. Feels great. Great place to choke up on it. Great jimping. Yeah, you've got your plastic FRN handles on here, but I mean, super fidgety with the button lock. Deploys perfect every time. Love the blade shape. There's nothing I don't love about this knife. And I want to get the larger version now that's come out, but this is such a perfect one. And that even though this is only a $29 knife, and I have knives in here that are a lot more money, this one to me holds up against any of those. Just as a great EDC knife. So, super fidgety. You could play with this all day. So, CJRB Pyrite Light. And last but not least, probably my second favorite knife. This is another bug out killer. And we're talking about the Hogue Deca. Everything about this is just a slight step up over the bug out, in my opinion. I like the blade shape slightly better. The jimping is much better. The grip on it is a little bit more comfortable. Yet I still have the bug out. You know, no blade play, fantastic all around, perfectly centered, super fidgety with the crossbar lock, and or I think they call it an able lock, I believe. You know, just another word for an access lock since they couldn't use it. This is another one though. I want to upgrade the scales. I want to go with titanium scales on this. You know, but yeah, just a great knife. And this is another one that is a bug out killer. So, you know, I put these all in the same class. I put this, the bug out, and the Kershaw Bel Air all in the same class of knife. They're all basically aimed at the same audience, same feel, but actually, I want to say this is I said the Bel Air was probably the best bug out alternative. I think this is tied with that, you know, but you couldn't go wrong with any of the three. I don't think you can go wrong with them. So that's my favorite 32 knives. Obviously, there are way more knives around here, and those are my, you know, my favorite 32. Now, obviously, I have some new knives that have come in. I'm sure I'm going to fall in love with some of those as we go. But what do you guys think? Do you think it's a nice start? Is there anything you would think I should drop out of that maybe you don't think deserves to be in there? Because I'm willing to listen. So discuss, please. Let me know what you think. All right. I said tonight we're only going to do an hour. We're not going to do the 2 hours because we were on for 2 hours last night. So we are going to wrap this up in a few minutes. But with that being said, you know, thank you everybody. You guys know the channel went over 1,200 subscribers, and we are well on our way now to 1,300. We picked up like 15 subscribers in the last 2 or 3 days. So that's really kind of cool. And I expect more. I did launch, like I talked about last night, I launched a TikTok channel today. I put up a video, and it's got a ton of views already. So I'm sure that drove some people over to subscribing. So that's going to be a helpful thing. I do have the Adventure 50 store. If you go into the community posts, if you want any merchandise, there's stuff there. I'm going to be putting out a video tomorrow. I'm not sure if it's coming out in the morning or the afternoon. And I'm telling you guys, since you're here, there's going to be a hashtag hidden in the video that if you comment in the video with that hashtag and you like the video, that's the video that's going to be used for pulling the prize for next week's giveaway. So, and I'm telling you that I'm not telling you what the hashtag is because it's going to be your job to watch it and figure it out and put it in the comment section. I figure a lot of people are not going to watch the video all the way, so they're not going to see the hashtag. So, you know, I get that, Ron, but that is the, you know, that's what people call them, the bug out killers. You know, I think that's a testament to bug out, by the way, to Benchmade and the bug out, because everybody wants to compare themselves to the bug out. But like I said, so next week there's going to be a 1,200 subscriber giveaway. It's going to be based on the comments that are going to be left in tomorrow's video. So tomorrow's going to be the log and jotter unboxing and the tactical pen unboxing video. It's only like a 4-minute video, so I don't, you know, I'm not asking for a full 1 hour watch. It's a 4-minute video. Like I said, I'm going to put the hashtag in there that you're going to need to put in the comments and go from there. That'll be what will be used with the comment picker next week to make the selection for the prize. So as I promised, a reading from the book of creative cursing. So, ladies and gentlemen, we are gathered here tonight at the Church of Fun for another reading from the book of creative cursing. So we'll flip into the book of creative cursing. And the first word we're going to come up with, we'll flip to about here. Ooh, this is a spicy one. And here. And we have whore rammer. So you are a whore rammer. I wouldn't want to be a whore rammer, would I? I don't know if that's necessarily a bad thing. But whore rammer. That's the first of the reading of the book of creative cursing. So let's go for our second reading from the book of creative cursing. All right, folks, testify. So what do we have? We have the word shit. What do we have next? Shit twister. I kind of like that one. Are you a shit twister? You could be a shit twister. You know who you are out there, you shit twisters. All right. And final, third reading from the book of creative cursing in the church of fun. All right. What do we got? What do we got? We got trash. First word is trash. And I know these are backwards to you. Trash jockey. You are a trash jockey. I don't know if that's a bad thing, good thing. Does that refer to a garbage man? Garbage person? I don't know. Sanitation worker? Trash jockey. But that, my friends, were the readings from the book of creative cursing here in the Church of Fun. All right, folks. I said this is going to be a short one tonight. I do appreciate you guys stopping by. And I will see you during the week. I'm sure I'll see everybody tomorrow in Rob's live streams and some of the others. Yeah, Ron, this is just a fun one. I thoroughly enjoy this book. So, all right, guys. Like I said, I appreciate you being here. This is going to be a short. We're going to wrap up right here. And as I always say, until we meet again, keep your blade sharp. Good night, guys. Love all of you.